As a result, Bitcoin had the biggest weekly candle closure ever. We have it there. Your boy CryptoZX has been calling this the momentum that Bitcoin has shown over the last few days, even though the markets and CME futures are closed. Bitcoin is holding really nicely, and if you've been following my channel and you obviously tune in on a daily basis, you know that this is going to be a great week. Every day we hear so many encouraging things about the cryptocurrency industry. And at this point, I believe it is inevitable. However, welcome back to my XRP family and the CryptoZX channel. You guys are truly great. It's simply incredible how much support and encouraging comments you guys are giving. You received these continuing updates if you kept up your support each and every day. All things considered, as I mentioned before, the daily candle was the highest in Bitcoin's history. I apologize, it's the weekly, not the daily. And I think that's setting us up for a fantastic week. It goes without saying that if you look at the markets, you will see altcoins doing the same thing if Bitcoin does. In particular, XRP is still up around 2.1%, but we did not notice it. In my previous newsletter, I mentioned that we should be closely monitoring that weekly close. XRP was rejected despite coming very near. It keeps highlighting the significance of that crucial range. However, I believe that breakthrough will occur sooner rather than later. Thus, XRP's price closed higher than $2.27. A huge thumbs up for that then. Additionally, Bitcoin was up 2.1% when compared to the market capitalization of $134.3 billion. And there are still over 2.1 billion trades every day. Before we continue though, let me just quickly clarify that nothing on this channel is financial advice. Always conduct your own research and due diligence before making a cryptocurrency investment. I want everyone to understand that we discuss Bitcoin. Many people are aware of that every time we discuss Bitcoin. The majority of XRP holders are aware of the connection between developments in Bitcoin that, despite popular belief, may benefit XRP. However, notice how the flows of Bitcoin ETFs are aligning behind a breakout, thus inflows into Bitcoin ETFs approaching 50,000 Bitcoin in 30 days indicate an upward trend. The flow-to-price strategy aims to reach 117,000 based on economic parameters. And if you have been watching the channel, that sort of makes sense. Bitcoin will likely reach an all-time high, in my opinion. In terms of liquidation, we're going to see that $5 billion, which is a significant sum for short sellers. And it just makes sense, in my opinion, especially given how Bitcoin has held up and how the S&P and NASDAQ 100 as well as gold are rising. Bitcoin has, of course, also been rising. Let's avoid misinterpreting that. Bitcoin has been rising in value. However, I believe that the following wave towards a new all-time high is unavoidable. The House weighs, as you can see. A hearing on making America the global center of cryptocurrency will be held this Wednesday by the And Means Oversight Subcommittee, with an emphasis on developing a tax policy framework for digital assets that is appropriate for the 21st century. Here you can see what the cowboy says. The only way to make America the global capital is to focus on the positive actions required to establish a tax policy framework for digital assets, with no cap gains tax on cryptocurrency. In fact, I concur. I completely concur with Cowboy, and of course everyone has their own opinions. However, there have been many rumors since Donald Trump took office and his administration that perhaps only US-based cryptocurrency projects will be spared from taxes for the time being. And that's what the construction phase is for, isn't it? Because there are so many clear advantages, and because, believe it or not, it does have a good influence because it creates jobs. You would see a tremendous influx of coders from other countries to the US. Many individuals will overlook the fact that it boosts the economy and generates jobs. You're probably thinking, well, that doesn't make any sense at this point. Let me give you an example of what trust looks like when you consider it from that angle. Let's imagine once more that if this clearly becomes a reality, a blockchain corporation registers in the United States. Furthermore, just because their employees pay them does not imply that they are exempt from paying taxes. Taxes are still paid by employees. Additionally, they can profit from all of these tariffs that are in place. If you really know how tariffs operate, you'll see that all of these American businesses that have relocated overseas are sort of forced to say, hey, you know what? No, you'll be creating at home, and in that manner the jobs are clearly here instead of, outside and helping another economy. However, I believe that this very moment is crucial and unavoidable. The largest change in cryptocurrency that we have ever witnessed is likely to occur if you are fully exempt from paying capital gains taxes. A significant supercycle might be triggered if that actually materializes. Additionally, many analysts have already predicted that we will no longer have that 4-year cycle. However, I continue to think that only utility coins, those that have real world applications, are what they mean when they say that, and that the ones with ETFs will likely hold up better even during a bad market. However, I continue to think that 99.9% of many of these altcoins will decline when they transfer. That's exactly what I personally think. Please let me know whether you agree or disagree in the comments section below. But take a look at this. A shout out to Smoke. At the start of the year, he made this statement: how the United States plans to use stablecoins to revamp the financial system in order to compete with other nations. The US is at a turning point in the evolution of the global financial system. The dollar's hegemony is being challenged by geopolitical rivalry, growing debt, and other payment methods. China and other countries are strengthening their positions by issuing dollar-denominated bonds, expanding their gold reserves, and creating networks to circumvent U.S.